does, but I don't actually know anyone that has an arm wrestling.
This is competition. This is one-on-one competition, one-on-one. They call your name up there, and it's you and your opponent. Referee calls it. John Brink is the winner. It's not blue collar, white collar. Everybody is in the sport.
This guy is unafraid to seek out the greatest arm wrestlers on earth. Sauer is put to the axe by this phenomenal Western athlete. John Brink wins again in Russia.
This guy is unbelievable.
Brink powers through the 600-pound cleave D. 10 years of dominance in the sport of arm wrestling, and still he reigns supreme. Brink's legacy has lasted longer than any sports icon ever.
And he's probably technically one of the best arm wrestlers in the business.
Like Gretzky, Jordan, and Jeter, Brink has become a sports icon. Unbelievable!
состязаниях. То есть одним из состязаний был как раз тоже армврестлинг. Он тогда так не называлось, у нас традиционно назывался рукобой. Да. Если хочешь быть великим спортсменом, да, изначально. Если хочешь быть великим изначально спортсменом, да, тогда ты должен, значит, бороться как Джон Бринк. Бороться либо на бицепс, или наверх, или на, там, или на Бога, это не то. Вроде как Джон Бринк был всегда за пример мне.
Ну, я думаю, выиграет. Это мое мнение. Все, да. Go for! Давай. Сильнее, сильнее, сильнее. Я сам хочу. Быстрее. Сильнее! Сильнее! Сильнее!
Господи, помоги. Я чувствую, вот вообще просто, ну что я здесь делаю вообще? Лучше бы я дома лежал бы, ничего, у меня что мне дома, выпил бы пиво, положил бы с собой двух красивых девушек, лежал бы, смотрел в потолок и кайфовал бы от жизни, понимаешь? Что я здесь делаю? Чего? Ну, когда уже отборешься, понимаешь вообще, для чего ты это вообще, для чего ты это делаешь. Это кайф, да, свой, определенный.
Competition today. Let's go. You don't have any competition today?
No competition. You might as well go home. This is the winner right here.
The biggest thing I like to do when I win in arm wrestling is to show how great it is. You know, because I want the rest of the people to strive to have that same feeling that they perceive that I'm feeling. And to tell you the truth, I love it.
Train it. I'm already straight. Train it. Christian,
I'm not. He's pulling me.
You gotta come to the situation.
I'm not doing anything.
You felt it. Good call. That's a good call.
Don't do that. feel like 99% of the time, the guy next to me is waiting to lose. He's already decided that when he gets his name called and Travis Basin is on the other side of the table, very few of them really attack me with 100% of what they're capable of.
Been on wrestling for 5 years. 7-time national champion. Bad dude, man.
Why you so bad, man?
It's a bad, I just got it, man. It's total package, man. I'm pretty, fast, and strong.
John Brzenk represents every, the holy grail of arm wrestling. He is, the past, the present, the future. He's everything all rolled into one when it comes to arm wrestling. It's kind of unfair that he holds all titles.
Hey, I'm going to chase John. I'm going to try to, I need to pull him, some more to try to, get schooled a little bit before because I'm going to take it over. I'm taking over. How's the hand?
Crap now. I was branding cattle in Nevada 2 weeks ago and I got kicked hard. Yeah. And I don't know.
You always injure me though. You need to pull really, really
Well, I just
hard.
want to grip up because I don't think it's going to hurt to pull, but the gripping up.
I probably met John 13 years ago at a practice down in Salt Lake City. John would just come over once in a while and just use us like pawns. I mean, one right after another. Just took a lot of ass whippings for a long time.
I don't want you going real hard though either. I've doubted myself now for the last 4 or 5 years. I'm not the same guy I was where I could say, yeah, 2 classes, 3 classes, I'll pull them all, I don't have that confidence anymore. I know that that gap has closed up quite a bit. There's a lot of guys that can give me a good match where I just can't breeze through them. So. Not that I wouldn't be able to, but there might be a chance that it wouldn't happen.
We've both been talking about retiring for about the last 2 years, but it's more mental retiring because we know we're old, we know we're a little beat up. How do you draw that line of retiring when you're on top compared to retiring when you're starting to take 3rd and 4th? I assume John's thinking the way I am. If I'm still winning, why get out?
Arm wrestling, or wrist wrestling as it was formerly known, dates back to ancient time. In those days, military commanders would choose the best arm wrestlers to be their leading soldiers. Since then, arm wrestling has been practiced throughout the world, in every country. In 1954, the first organized professional arm wrestling tournament took place in Petaluma, California. Soon after, the World Arm Wrestling Championships was aired on ABC's Wide World of Sports and was its highest-rated segment from 1969 to 1985. In Europe and other parts of the world, the popularity of Sylvester Stallone's film Over the Top allowed the sport to grow extensively. Russia, India, Japan, and much of Eastern Europe provided government-sponsored subsidies and allowed arm wrestling to become a high school elective. Today, there are over 125 countries that compete in arm wrestling events around the globe, and it will be an exhibition sport in the next Olympic Games.
States titles. I have national titles in the 220-pound class, 242-pound class, super heavyweight class, and the masters classes. 500 pounds. The king. There you go, Travis. Eat some Wheaties.
You can't talk to John until you beat Dave. Dave Randall is the king, the super heavyweight king of the East Coast. about being the best arm wrestler in the world, knowing wholeheartedly that, you know, this Dave Randall guy does exist. There's still a few monsters overseas. And then, of course, there's John Brzenk. No John Brzenk's up there. But I think the 3 or 4 guys that lead up to him are definitely, you know, within my sights. I'm going to crack that dude, man. That big guy's not snatching me up by the back of my head anymore and shaking me and asking me who my daddy is. Those days are over for Dave Randall.
King?
He's a little guy, huh?
Has he been talking bad about me all week?
Yeah, pretty much. Let's talk bad about you for a few years.
Yeah, I know it. I got something for that cat. You wait. I'm gonna stop right, look. Just like it.
You got John Thorns, the guy out of Virginia?
Let me tell you something. I'm going to the finals right off the bat. I hope you make it to me.
At least my dog, I got the rest. I'd be good Saturday night.
I told you he ain't much bigger than me.
He's not much taller.
We weigh about the same thing. I weigh 291.
Did you?
Yeah, dressed, I mean.
Right. That's about it, yeah.
You weigh that much?
No.
Close though.
I'm 273.
Been there.
All right, man. I'll see you in the morning, man. Good to see you, sir. Yeah, good luck to you. I hope you get to me.
I'm gonna try. You have to go into a match with confidence. I feel if I go up here, if the referee does their job and I do my job, I feel I win. I will keep feeling that way because I have beat him about every time we ever pulled. But Travis is a very, very good puller. And as I've said before, if he doesn't get injured and he trains, he'll be the man eventually. But hopefully right now he's not.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the stage has been set. We're about to begin one of the most important arm wrestling competitions in the world, and it's going to take place right now on the main stage here at the GNC Show of Strength. If you have never seen an arm wrestling tournament, you must come over and witness this.
Table number 2, men's 95 plus kilos to the table. David Randall and Travis Bagent. David Randall is on your right. Travis Bagent will be on your left. Neither one of these gentlemen have a loss. Shoulders squared, hands centered in the middle of the table with the wrist straight. Travis Bagent, the winner. Travis Bagent is the winner. David Randall takes second. Travis Bagent, the winner.
Мое место здесь. А давай, чтобы они там особо не ходили, давайте здесь сяду. It's beginning of my professional career. Ага, Finland. Скажи, 2000 год, что-то, я с числами не могу, да?
2000.
1000 year. It's Russian championship medal. For international wrestling tournament, World Tour. World Wrestling Cup. open category. So I have one latitude and free. Yes. It's my first international tournament. Beauty.
Finally, a word to the wise. If you ever run into a fellow named John Brezink, whatever you do, don't arm wrestle with this guy. It's time for John Brezink to go to work.
We do what they call a walk around. We walk around the airplane, make sure that everything's kosher. There's no damage caused by birds or leaks or anything of that nature.
Today I'm going to be pulling one of Japan's best arm wrestlers. I've pulled Yoshi 3 other times. If I can't deal with his back pressure in his hand, then I might try to hook him first and then top roll from there.
ジョン・ブルザンクがいてくれることによってすごい僕にとってのアームレスリングをする励みになってますね。
At the age that he's at and what he's been doing and from my experience with Yoshi, I can't let the match last very long because he has incredible endurance and the longer the match goes, the worse off I'll be. So it's going to have to be quick.
とりあえず今はジョン・ブルザンク以外に興味がないっていうか、まあ、強い選手はいっぱいいるんでしょうけど、まあ、僕より強い選手もいっぱいいると思いますけど、まあ、今はジョン・ブルザンクにしか興味がないですね。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the arm wrestling event of the century.
アームレスリング界の神様。
And we're ready to begin with the match. Brother has a good hit as he tries to touch around Yoshi. This is how we are going to the scraps.
comes from the act of pulling the opposing arm wrestler toward you. There are 3 basic techniques. The top roll. With your knuckles facing your opponent, bring your thumb down towards the table. The hook. Curl your wrist inward and try to place your hand into your shirt pocket. The shoulder roll. Lift and place your shoulder behind your forearm while driving your arm towards the table. It's like a hammer coming down. A jump start or lifting your elbow up off the pad will get you a foul. 2 fouls and you lose. Slip out and you'll be forced to strap up. All participants are divided into 3 different weight categories: middleweight, heavyweight, and super heavyweight. The winner of each weight category compete against each other to be the overall class champion.
This is my dad's business establishment, Billy Jack's Bar and Grill. It's kind of a mecca for what's left of arm wrestling in West Virginia. My dad's a very spiritual, strength-oriented person. Thinks a lot of arm wrestling, powerlifting, just anything having to do with having some strong body part. He's very in tune, and he was a very powerful man himself, so I started coming over, hanging out on Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays when I was 15 and 16. I arm wrestled, probably 3,000 matches a night. I'd lose all but one maybe or something. I'd finally find somebody to beat. And then at 17 and a half years old, I came in here, and both of my older brothers were here. And I think that was the first time my dad was like, damn, because I got up there and I beat him in here that night. And from then on, I never lost again in here, or any of the surrounding areas, like I was pretty much the dominant force when it came to arm wrestling.
There's the man.
What's happening?
There's the man, Travis.
This is my dad, Jerry Boyd.
This is a little small town in no place on a side street. And you're coming in and you're walking into the epitome of an arm wrestling atmosphere. The epitome. You can travel in every state and every place across America, and it's not going to be any more love and any more devotion showed to it than what we do.
There's me and John in California. Even at my own dad's place, I can't escape the man.
John Brezink is an outstanding human being. Us people over here in West Virginia have a lot of respect for the John Brezink legend. He has a lot of titles, and he's held a lot of glory. Back in the 40s and 50s, I ran into a guy that was a one-arm arm wrestler because he had his arm cut off. And I was just like 6 or 7 years old. And he's the one that started me arm wrestling, okay? He was not born strong like his dad. I was born picking up big rocks in the playpen. He couldn't even get out of the playpen. He's probably one of the weakest persons I ever seen till he was 14 years old. He could not even do a push-up without going lopsided. Okay?
Man, he always said that. That ain't true.
He was created from almost nothing. All right? And I actually surprised myself, all right, that I could take something so less and end up so high. You can be the weakest human walking the earth, man or woman. And if you have the character that he has, which most people don't have that, there's no limit to what you can do. There is no limit to how strong a human man can be. And it's a disgrace to see a human being grow old without ever recognizing how strong he could be. And that's not just my belief.
Come on, Jerry. You can do it, Jerry. Come on.
I think that he's probably going to go down in history like the great Mo Baker in my times, the great John Brezink of his times. I think that he will measure up to that plus some.
I was born in a town called Elgin, Illinois. Growing up, my brother Bill and I didn't have a lot. My parents were separated, and my mother worked as a waitress. As I got older, I moved in with my dad, who owned a bowling alley. I lived upstairs in the apartment of the bowling center. One of the small rooms was set up by my dad to lift weights. If I was bored, I'd work out. When I was 13 years old, my dad introduced me to the strength sport of arm wrestling. The great thing about arm wrestling is that it gave me a chance to spend time with my dad. It took years for me to beat my dad. But finally, by age 18, I had surpassed him and moved on to bigger and better challenges around the world.
John Brzezinski from McHenry, Illinois. Yes, Brzezinski is a very young boy. I think he's only 18 years old. He is a fierce competitor, and he tries to use what we call the top rope style. Oh, the referee calls it. John Brzezinski is the winner.
If I wanted to be the best, I had to beat Johnny Walker.
Yeah, Johnny holds many titles.
He was my ultimate goal. He was the arm wrestler I looked up to after my dad.
Everybody was training to try to beat me. Everybody was coming to me with everything they had, you know.
Johnny Walker is a legend. He was built for arm wrestling. At the time, I would beat everyone except for him. He had my number.
I used to beat John Brzezinski all the time. I first started arm wrestling. Every year, I go back. I could feel him. He was coming on. He was coming up. He was coming up. Eventually, he started beating me.
But by the time I reached 22, I never lost to him again.
John Brzezinski is totally awesome. That guy, man, is tough. He got just as much respect for me as I have for him. Because we both, at one time, was two of the top guys in arm wrestling. Well, he still is. He had a certain technique that he uses. You couldn't get around it, you know. He knew something that I didn't know, and he just started beating me, you know. So, that's the way it was.
I was becoming confident and coming into my own when the over-the-top tournament came along.
This event is being done in connection with Sylvester Stallone's next film. This is going to be the biggest sports promotional tie-in that has ever been done with a major motion picture.
Still quite young in the sport, I thought I could win this event. And I did win. I won this massive truck that I eventually sold and replaced with a Corvette. I even made an action figure of me, and I got to be in the movie. The movie brought so much worldwide attention to the sport that I thought arm wrestling would finally be put on the map. But it didn't work out that way.
I was born in Ukraine. Как вам сказать, 1980 год 9 мая. Вот. In village Калиновица. Вот. И, значит, after year of my born, I come in Sochi.
На коврах утопаем мы в мечтах, словно в мягких облаках. Мы вдвоем с тобой. Ты целуешь руки мне, нежно шепчешь тише.
Russian lady love gold, silver, money. But very little percent Russian women like men, strong men, liking men. Объясни, что мужчины на настоящих мужиков.
Many girls like money more than just men. Ну ладно, что ты? Делал другой день.
Ну ладно, мне нормально, Когда испытываешь экстремальные ощущения, да, потом организму необходима эта выработка адреналина, да, вот, который человек испытывает при этих видах спорта. Понимаешь? И поэтому, если человек начинает заниматься экстремальными видами спорта, то это затягивает в этот вид спорта, потом в следующий и так далее и тому подобное. Экстремальщик, если он появился на свет, то он и умирает экстремальщиком. Когда будут с дзенком бороться, получим.
right now makes $70,000 a year, but I told you how I feel about that. I mean, I worked for 3 years right out of college. The only thing I learned is that I just think that working for someone is the worst idea known to man. I just want to live free. In other words, I want my house. I don't want any monthly payments on the house or any of my vehicles, which I have that already. So I'm about $120,000 liquid away from having my house paid free. I never had running water here. I left here in 9th grade without running water. So from my kindergarten to 9th grade, no running water.
How'd you shower?
We just had buckets of water. We carry them, drop them off, put them in a pan, warm some up, add it to it, wash off. And then some sophisticated people had a big ass tub that they fill water up. But we didn't feel like carrying all that water. So we just took enough to. And then we'd go in town on the weekends to like my cousin's house or somebody, and we'd be taking showers, like 15 showers a day. No one knew. Except for the 4 of us, and we kept it a secret amongst each other. None of us ever brought friends home. Got a little camera crew out. Enjoy yourself today. Every Sunday, the whole extended family would meet here. We'd eat fried chicken or ham or something every Sunday.
You gotta put the green beans separate and corn separate now. It's stupid, man.
It ain't like it used to be. Yeah. We was living worse than anybody, but we was living happier than anybody, too. We ain't have no problems down
We
here.
was poor, but we was happy. He's a whip. He might be tough nobody would when he was a kid.
I ain't never been no whip.
You wouldn't, Travis. Josh beat you up.
Man, are you nuts? You got a bad memory. All right, let's go down here and see what's going on. Well, it's good to see you, lady.
Glad to see you. You gotta come back down and see me now. You have to?
That'd be great if you did. That way we can.
Travis, bring your wife down with us.
I will.
I don't see that, Mom.
Yeah, well, they quit everything altogether.
So retired.